Living in America as a black person, you recognize there is one set of laws for you and one set of laws for those, especially in the white community. In our book, Passive Aggressive Racism in the System of White Supremacy, I take you through times in my life when I first started noticing white supremacy. We teach you how to recognize it, identify it, and also counter it in our book. This book is a beginner's course for those that are just starting to wake up and open their eyes to see the system of white supremacy. As a black American person, you must understand this system because this system is life or death to you. How you handle it, how you deal with it, it can affect your mental health if you don't understand this system. Pick up our book, Passive Aggressive Racism and the System of White Supremacy, today on Amazon. So there was a brother by the name of Roderick Brooks here, in the Houston area. This brother had mental health issues. He was, a kleptomaniac, and he would always steal toiletries. Well, one day he went to the Dollar General store and stole some toiletries and tried to get away from the people. And a Harris County race soldier showed up, just jumped out of the vehicle, didn't even put the car in park, just jumped out of the vehicle. So the car has actually started rolling backwards to chase down this brother for stealing some toiletries, right? In Dollar General, it's not even that expensive, but he's chasing him down, like he ended up, had a mass shooting or something like that. He ended up chasing the brother down and he ended up killing the brother. Once again, behind toiletries, not a mass shooting, toiletries. But I want you to hear the details of what happened. With Sister Sadia is the attorney, and you got Brother Derek Muhammad. Those of you who've been following our channel, you know exactly who they are. But those of you who are new, Sister Sadia, she's an attorney, here in Houston. She's, made content for us many, years ago. And Brother Derek Muhammad, we just recently was at the Black Male Summit that he hosts. So let's go ahead and roll that. And I want to follow up because it's something I want to home in on. They said in this press conference.
To tennis, to anything. And it's just a waste of knowledge. He's smarter than me. I have 3 degrees. Roderick is smarter than me. But he never challenged. He just gave up. He would work and just stop and work. And to me, Roderick was my baby brother. More of a baby to me because I took over when my parents left. So there's no way he could. It's amazing to say that he took something when I know he don't know how to operate a cell phone much. So how you gonna operate a taser? How you gonna operate? Things didn't make sense. I know Roderick. And until we see what happened, I can just imagine my brother laying there, not even knowing, catching his breath. It's I don't understand.
And you can only imagine the last moments of his life. He's in fear, and officers on top of his back, as the bystanders say that he was being pulverized with punches all over his head after he was tased and subdued. So not only does he have extreme voltage going through his body, so if he's reaching back to stop the onslaught of punches, he has a right to defend himself against excessive force from an abusive cop. And the officer knew at that moment. There was one bystander who even said and told the family members that they heard, and the body cam will bear witness to it if it's true, that he said stop. Yes. So that'll tell you what was in the heart of that police officer, that he would abandon his unit, yes, that he would run after him, someone who was shoplifting, and call out a racial slur, use excessive force when he already has subdued him. And he knew he couldn't reuse the taser because the taser had already been discharged. So it wasn't like he could use that taser again. So instead, he used this weapon to kill him.
And I would like to add, I was also told that he pulled his pants down. What reason do you have to pull a man's underwear after you done shot him? What sick individual does that? Put his pants down for what? It doesn't matter if you don't shot him. What you put his pants down for?
Jeez.
That's sick.
Yes, sir.
The sheriff's office, on the evening of the shooting, said that there was some sort of chase or altercation. Can you speak to a little bit more about that you understand? understood or realized at this point?
Absolutely. So there was an actual chase, and the officer was running after Roderick, but he tased him. So he was able to subdue Roderick and have him stop. The altercation was on a subdued body. Roderick was face down, and he was, based on eyewitness statements, they said that the altercation really was the officer beating up on Roderick Brooks. So the problem what we have is this one-sided. The media is reporting what the officer is allegedly saying. Of course, you look at the what's going on in America as it concerns police brutality. The news cycle is constant with another unarmed black man dying every other day at the hands of law enforcement. And so they're going to try to mitigate the facts of this case, but pretty much they're lies. Because based on what and they're afraid of law enforcement. The community doesn't trust law enforcement, the community is afraid, but they're courageous enough and been brave enough to reach out to us to tell their story. So that altercation was the officer assaulting excessively Roderick Brooks.
And the sheriff's office also said that he reached for the taser?
No, he was stopping the excessive punches and trying to protect his life after he was tased and after he was brutally assaulted.
Right. And if the taser had already been discharged, then the taser was dead.
Yeah.
Even if he were reaching for the taser. First of all, the officer has a taser, he's got a gun, he's got all kind of different things on his tool belt. How do you know what he's reaching for? You can't read his mind. He may have been reaching, but if you came up here and bust me in my face right now, at the very least, I'm gonna do this. And you can call that reaching, but it is the officer's job to de-escalate situations like these. The problem with this case is that there was really no situation to de-escalate. The situation was escalated by the deputy. Again, we're talking about a man who, to the best of our knowledge, from the facts that we've gathered from his family and even his so-called criminal record, this was not a violent human being. He was not armed. He was not a threat to anybody. He was so-called shoplifting from the Dollar General. What could be valued high enough in a damn Dollar General to where it was worth taking somebody's life? Everybody in this room knows that if that had been a German Shepherd, they would have treated him better than they treated Roderick Brooks. Had it been a Great Dane, a damn dog, he would have got better treatment. So he may have been shoplifting. But why? If he was, why? We as a society have to take a look at the socioeconomic disparities in our city, our county, and our country that would make a harmless man want to go and steal a bar of soap. We have to look at the lack of treatment that we offer for mental health patients. They offer short-term treatment, not long-term treatment. Roderick Brooks is a victim, not a perpetrator. And even if he was shoplifting, he may have been wrong. But hear me clear. Even when you are wrong, you still have rights. Even when you are wrong, you still have rights. And every last right that black man was supposed to be afforded under the Constitution, he was raped of by that police officer whose name we need to know. It was a murder that took place.
Now, what I want to home in on is where the sister has said that he, took the brother's, pants and underwear and rolled them down. And she say, what kind of sick individual would do something like that? A white supremacist. Because when I heard that, I said, oh, that's a lynching. Because I don't know if you remember the story with Donye Jones in St. Louis. And we had interviewed his mother, Melissa McKinnis. When they had lynched that brother, on that tree. They same thing. They took his pants and rolled it down to his ankles. If you study lynching and white supremacy, you know every time they did that to a brother, they would always roll his pants down to his ankles. You know, these people are sick devils. They are sick to the core. And this is why judgment is happening to them right now. And it's going to get worse upon worse upon worse, black folk. That's why when it comes to even reparations, you're going to get reparations. Oh, yeah, it's going to happen. Because they're going to give you reparations because they're thinking that's going to be a way to get out of the judgments that they're experiencing right now. Think about what's going on right now. The heat dome and new viruses popping up and they trying to hide it. Like, man, there's a whole lot worse coming down the pipe than that. They think they can get away with just killing our brothers and sisters forever. No. The time is coming up to an end of all of that. Of you just murdering our people with no consequence. And I'm not talking about consequence from us because we don't have the ability because of the position that we're in. But the judgment of God is happening right now. Got people coming down this monkeypox and they trying to hide the reason that came in. But how did that start? How did it get in? It's big as all day on Google. It started with the white LGBT. But they want to hide that. COVID now is back tearing it up again. All of a sudden, just out the blue. Inflation, gas prices, food prices. It's so hot, people's light bills are ridiculous right now. My light bill is $530. Some people got $700, $900 light bills. People struggling, they crying right now. But you know, the reason why some of these things are happening is because of the way y'all treated black people, white society. And the thing is, it's not that this race soldier did what he done, it's this white supremacist, because you know what I'm saying? It's the fact that white society upholds that. They uphold it. Just during the July 4th weekend, you had a white LGBT man kill people at a parade. He ran from the police too. And they arrested him, didn't shoot him 60 times, didn't do anything to him, arrested him. But anytime a black man run, even the Congolese brother that ran from the police, got on top of him and shot him in the back of the head. See, that's what happens to black men. But when they kill folks, they ain't afraid of their life, nothing happens to them. Now, I haven't seen the body cam footage yet. I know Brother Derek, and I'm going to contact him about that footage because it should be coming out because they did a Freedom of Information Act request for the body cam footage. They said it, you know, from what one person said that saw it, it said it's pretty bad. You know, so I'll be contacting Brother Derek Muhammad, you know, sometime today to see if he have that. But yeah, I mean, it's so much going on, y'all. I'm getting calls from, say, Brother Derek, Dr. Candace Matthews, like everybody calling me about something going on. I'm like, man, I mean, and we talking about right here in Houston. We ain't talking about going nowhere outside of Houston. I'm like, I need an army, a team of people to cover things. You know, of course, we have to structure it the right way and the money. That's why I say that the more money that we have coming in, the more y'all donate, you know, or buy a book if you want a book or something like that as a form of donation. You can do that on Amazon or join our website. That's also a form of monthly donation. And you also get content you don't see on YouTube. You know, you can help us out because we need all the help we can get to try to get more of these stories out here because, you know, the mainstream media are always going to have a slant toward the race soldier. They're always going to have that slant. So make sure, ladies and gentlemen, make sure, you know, that, you know, support us as you can. You know, of course, we live in tough times, but support us as you can. We trying to get the work done and brothers and sisters out there in the streets trying to do the work. But like I said, you know, this media thing, it do, you know, cost, you know, money. So we definitely want to see justice for our brother here. But we'll definitely keep, you know, pushing out. But let me know, you know, in the comment section what you think about, you know, this particular story. Like I say, they're one of many, but we're going to try to stay on top of them. Hey family, make sure you join us on the new and improved AfricanDiasporaNews.org. Now it is our uncensored and raw truth website. We have to make sure to have our own website because on social media platforms, they do have rules and at any time they could change a rule and shut a whole genre down. Now, that would not happen to us because on AfricanDiasporaNews.org, we can speak the truth. We don't have to hold back. So make sure you join our website today.